He could be the
Really?
Ryan Reynolds of the UK.
Woo! Was that the fittest you've ever been?
Yeah, probably. And the tiredest. Yeah. Go.
Good morning, Tom! Look at you look so well.
Oh, shut up. I cannot believe I'm actually here. Can I just say I'm so chuffed and grateful to be here. I feel like I'm playing on centre court. You have the most amazing guests, and here I am. Do you know, in 1997, I used to listen to you in the car on the way to drama school as a first-year student.
Wow.
You were the tonic that made us go in the room and go, OK, big deep breath, let's get through this. And then my surrogate granny in Clay Cross in Chesterfield, Doris, I used to say to Doris, one day, I'm going to be on This Is Your Life. Well, that obviously can't happen anymore. But now, this basically is my This Is Your Life.
Let's give him another cheese. So excited to be here. Well, here you are, pre-Elf the musical, although you have already elfed, haven't you, now?
We're in previews, so actually we had our very first one last night. I wanted to get there's only one train an hour. I wanted to get to that 22 minutes past 10 train so I could be fresh and perky for you. Yep. Still couldn't get to sleep anyway until 12:30 because you got your adrenal glands switched on, your endorphins are running. It was the first night last night with an audience. Why people go on the 15th of November to the preview of Elf, I don't actually know.
Because they can't get tickets.
Well, hang on, we're fully Christmas up here. Look. By the way, elflondon.com is where you need to go.
It is.
Best domain name in the world.
I mean, just Google it. It's absolutely everywhere. It's incredible. But what I was just going to say about that is now I've realised some of the guys backstage said it's because people want to see it going wrong. They come onto the previews so they can see things, the mishaps. And we had the dress rehearsal yesterday. We had to stop 4 times.
Yes.
There are 20.
Love
There are 30 wires in the building, in backstage for all the sets. We're using 27. It's like a game of Tetris backstage. The production value, I know I'm selling it, but I'm trying to think at the weekend, what would you describe it? I'd say it's like Harry Potter's version of Christmas. It's that for the production value, the way it's...
Best
ever. Thanks very much.
So, they say life's not a rehearsal, you got to get on with it. But every one of our shows sounds like a dress rehearsal, doesn't it? Because we mess things up all the time. We've got 3.5 hours, it's a movable feast. But you stopped 4 times in the dress. Did you stop at all in the actual preview, your first preview show?
No, we didn't.
But you get these preview junkies who love going to all the previews.
Yeah.
Because it's loose,
And it's kind of, and
it's
you
fast,
can see,
it's loose.
As I was just saying before, we're like glass bottles on the wall in the wind. We're rattling around. You can see the whites of the eyes as we're all thinking, are we going to get through this bit? It's incredibly heartwarming, actually, that after 4 weeks in a rehearsal room where you've got nothing, to have an audience, I mean, we've all experienced it in the last couple of years anyway, but you realise these micro exchanges throughout the day, waving to the postman, saying thank you as someone comes through the door, they add up to your well-being, and being in a room, a live audience in the room, it really is quite magical. You're all seeing the same thing, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
So Elf the movie we know, Elf the musical most of us don't. I mean, I can't imagine it. It's nothing but more tinsel on the trees.
It's insane. I mean, the music, thankfully, they've done an incredible job of putting decent music to go with what is an unbelievably great film. It's an absolute classic. James Caan, obviously, playing the dad. Simon Lipkin, who plays Buddy, I would like to almost say, and I'm going to be brave, that he could be...
hang on a minute.
He could be the
Really?
Ryan Reynolds of the UK.
Woo!
He did Nativity. You remember the Nativity? Yeah, and the musical of that. He's done a whole load of stuff,
Right.
but he's just incredibly funny. He's really on it, and it's like he's on a sugar rush of all sugar rushes.
Brilliant.
It's a non-stop party on stage.
So, listen, we're talking about what could be the most joyous Christmas show in the land this Christmas. It's Elf the musical. It's booking now at elflondon.com. Now, Rachel, you said you tried to get tickets. You can get tickets. We have checked. There are tickets available. Otherwise, why would Tom have got home early last night and got up even earlier, stupid o'clock this morning, to come in here?
I think the issue was that I was trying to get tickets on a Saturday when my mum and dad were coming over. So it was a specific Saturday in December. And this was like back in like October,
Are
September.
you sure you weren't on the Glastonbury site just by accident?
Or the Tesco Christmas delivery slot site? No.
Okay, but it's booking now. I mean, it sounds fantastic.
I was going to say it's a bit like trying to get a train at rush hour. I mean, there are loads of seats. There really are. And also, you can get the £20 seats, right?
Like this.
Up in the gods, you might think, why are we here? But you are legally, and I'm just going to reveal it, you can move at half time into an empty seat.
If you want to.
Yeah.
That's
You
great,
are
isn't it?
that's kind of a theatre rule. So
I didn't know
you can
that.
get a £20 seat, and then if you see some seats down there they're empty.
That's a good
they're still
hack.
empty. I know.
And that's across the board in all Theatreland.
It is, as far as I know from my memory and my experience of theatre managers.
You're going to cause a stampede
Just do it.
at half time.
Get the and there's also a brilliant app called the Ticks Today, and then you can get the last minute, so you can find really good deals, because I know that the theatre is expensive. In our family, we're trying to buy experiences now instead of necessarily something that ends up in the bin.
Yeah.
So I do think that it is the kind of thing that is worth it.
Tell everybody about you and Bond.
Oh no!
Come on, you told me about this.
I know, but it's just really embarrassing.
Did you think I wasn't going to ask you about this on the radio?
Well, I did actually listen to you on the train on the way here in my headphones, so
Right.
I
You knew it was coming.
I'd heard that you'd already dropped that, and of course, you have to be careful what
How
you say.
close were you to Bond?
I think I got as far as the doorstep on the way into the room.
No, come on, it was closer than that.
No, well, it was when they were thinking of going for a young, So Orlando Bloom
Yeah.
was auditioning, and I was brought into the room, but mine was really just with the casting director to vet me.
But you still auditioned for James Bond.
Yeah,
That did happen. We're not making that up, are we?
No, and I went to the Bond offices, which were just they're on where the Ritz is, that.
They should be on Bond Street, really, but they're not.
Oh, wouldn't that be?
They're not far away if they're by the Ritz.
Yeah, they're
Now,
just
now
near the
Daniel Craig's
roundabout.
retired. It should be New Bond Street.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
I went in, and I'd be really scared of it. If I ever, I think I'm genuinely just grateful to be in work. So many talented people in the world, amazing people out there. And if you were playing Bond, I mean, I would just be so scared, because there is it's a whole world now of media explosion, and be scared to say a single word.
Tell us about you and Strictly now, as to you and Strictly 2008. You smashed Strictly, you won Strictly. How do you feel it may have changed from watching the more recent shows?
I wish I had props. I love props. I love. That's probably why I got into this strange industry anyway, because growing up in a village in Derbyshire.
How many top hats did you do, by the way, as the lead?
Top hats?
Yeah.
Oh, 500.
500. Come on, five with the cane, with the hats,
I'll
with the tails.
clap too. I'll clap to join.
Seriously?
It was, it was top hat, amazing.
That was very demanding physically, wasn't it?
That was, it was a world premiere. It was in the West End at the Aldwych, and that was a very fearful moment, because since a child, loved Fred Astaire, Gene Kelly. Most people don't know who they are nowadays. If you ask a younger folk who Fred Astaire was. And it was a dream come true, probably my mother's more than myself.
That's funny.
Because I actually went round to... this is how close. The one degree of separation. Fred Astaire's daughter said, do you want to come round for a cup of tea?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, my word, yeah, absolutely. Do you want to look at some old letters from my dad? I was like, yeah. So you got that. And he wrote in these letters, I cannot wait to get off the stage. This is exhausting. I would like to get into film. I can't wait to get it in the can. Job's done. Goodbye, go to lunch. And I was so relieved that, I'm not the only one who finds this extreme. You have to be like an athlete. I mean,
Well, you
really...
were like an athlete, weren't you, at the time? Was that the fittest you've ever been?
Yeah,
Probably.
and the tiredest. Yeah, you go up the stairs on my hands and knees. I mean, my poor wife.
These Olympians, 2 weeks every 4 years. We're 4 hours every night, plus matinees.
Exactly. Seriously, you buy your tickets, you're like, yes, I'm going to the Book of Mormon. It's going to be the greatest day of a lot, and it really is. And you walk away and you have no idea that actually they're doing it eight times a week.
And they've got to do it like they're doing it for the first or the last time, and no show in between.
No, and the guy who did Jersey Boys, he was in it for like 11 years.
Oh, no.
He made a good choice, because then the rest is gravy. Hopefully after that.
Right, tell us. Let's get back to Elf. Elf the musical. ElfLondon.com. Why wouldn't you want to go see this if it's within your budget, within your means to do so? You play the dad, James Caan role in the movie.
I do, yes, and of course he's huge shoes to fill. The Godfather, and the hard balance is when I got this job, right? I was they asked me to audition. I had to self-tape, which is kind of a new thing, but then it's normal. I was working on Father Brown at the time, and it was in the lunch break, and so I filmed it in my trailer, and I did my best job. I got some of the other guys to read in, sent it in, and said, "Oh, you're great, but you're 15 years too young." So I thought, right, I'm not going to let this one go. Put some talcum powder in my hair. Did it again, sent it out, and eventually, it took them a while. I think 3 or 4 other people had turned them down. They came to me and said, "You've got the job. and they didn't tell me anything else. Second day of rehearsals, they took me into a side room. I thought, this is it. You're off. You're gone. You're out. They said, are you okay? You're struggling a bit. I was like, no, I'm fine. I'm just, finding my way. No one had told me that they wanted me to scrap the whole act 15 years older and just be more yourself.
So they thought you were having an off day.
They were like, why is Tom
hilarious.
trying to act really old and be 15 years old? Going, hey, yeah, what are you doing?
Right, grateful to have you here, Tom. We're out of time. Thank
We
you
are.
so much. Preview number 2 tonight. Go and see it. Why the heck not?
It's going to be great. Honestly, it
Dominion
really is
Theatre.
all the bells.
All right, great. And here are the bells. There are the bells. And there goes Tom. Thank you, Vassos. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, team. And we'll see you on Wednesday. Goodbye.
Bye.
Ta-da.